Gary, we've just reached the start of June. You've already got 5 new faces in. Squad's taking shape nicely. How pleased are you with the business you've done so far?
We're really pleased with the business we've done so far. We're also pleased with the reaction of our supporters and the board of directors to what we've got in so far, because they're all lads that most people sort of locally will know. From probably only Jack Munn's the only one that hasn't sort of played locally. But hopefully you promised me that you'd be putting out some footage of each one of those players over the coming weeks, which would be great, because people will be able to see why I've brought those particular people into the club and what they can give us as far as the football is concerned. But I've not only brought in good footballers, I wanted to bring in good people. I wanted to bring in competitive people that have got good personalities and people that I know will have an affinity with the supporters and feel we got to all feel a belonging to the club. So therefore we got to have that affinity between me, the players, the fans, me, the fans, us, the board, all that sort of thing. Because if we're going to crack it, we've got to make sure that the players all get on. Unfortunately, the group that we had last season, there wasn't any real mates in that group for whatever reason. And so I've brought in players that have played with each other, that know of each other, that have already made contact with each other. So I know that we're going to be a committed, happy bunch, and that's really important if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, the most recent one, Harry Pell. I mean, he told me how impressed he was with your vision for next season and how important it is you try and bounce back straight away. And he spilt coffee on the rug but got away with it, and you still wanted to sign him. But you can tell straight away he's a bit of a character.
Well, if he'd have been a goalie, I wouldn't have signed him, would I? Dropping coffee. But he's... I knew... I'd met him before a couple of times, and I've certainly seen him a lot of times before, as I've said. But I like to do me due diligence with seeing their whites of their eyes, so that I'm sitting down and I'm interviewing them, really. I'm interviewing them for a job, because for my quality of life, I want to make sure that I've got a season or so with a group of lads that I enjoy meeting in the mornings and every morning, and I enjoy working with. Of course, we're going to have our ups and downs throughout the season, whether it's, you know, if it's successful, you're still going to have your ups and downs, because that's the way the football is. But I think I've got a group that have got a mutual respect. I've got a respect for them, and I think they've got a respect for me and the football club, and they are committed to that cause. And you can't con me, because I've seen it, heard it a million times before, and the money's not good enough for people to want to con you to come to here. You know, they might do that to Man United and think that they're not good enough for Man United but they're on 200 grand a week, like, you know what I mean? Whereas here, they're coming here because they're as ambitious as I am, and hopefully we can get this football club to the next level.
Yeah, when you've had your promotions in the past at previous clubs, and you've had several, has it always been a group of mates that get on well off the field as well? Do you think that's the key?
It is, because you've got to have teammates you can trust, teammates that you can rely on, and then the changing room polices itself. No one's going out on a Friday night because the other lads won't allow it. No one's doing a 3-hour drive to a game, you know, or going home when they shouldn't because of the drive, and they come in stiff because the others are saying, hold on a minute, you're not helping me in my ambition. So we've got to make sure that they've all got that ambition to be successful, and therefore you've got to get the characters and the personalities that you think will mix. And I'm pretty sure that these ones will mix and then become successful. And that is the key. I call it getting the right people on your bus. For the last 7 games of last year, unfortunately, people were already on my bus. I couldn't get them off. But this year, it is my bus. And I can bring people onto that. And it's invitation only. And they have to go through a pretty rigorous interview system that they don't know is rigorous, but I come out of it knowing whether they're a yes or a no.
Yeah. So far you brought in a centre half, 3 midfielders and a striker. So
yeah.
Can you give any indication of what the priorities are now, and also what your plan is between now and pre-season?
Yeah, well, it might look that to some that we've got a lot of sort of central midfielders, but you can't. I know the ones I've invited in. I've invited 15, 20 players into pre-season because those I can't make a judgment right now. But there are also 2 or 3 out there that I've already made offers to, and there's a couple of fullbacks, and there's a striker, and there's a goalkeeper. So we're still looking for another centre back for our squad. But I know what I can only take people as and when they become available. But I know the squad I want in, and I'm quite excited about the squad that's coming in. I've also got a couple of long-term loans that I know will do a great job for us. That helps us with the budget because you only have to pay them loans if you keep them all year for 44 weeks. And generally, not only are they doing you a favour, but you're doing the club a favour. So you get a good player slightly cheaper, and that helps with the budget.
Yeah. How important is it? Would you much prefer longer term loans than short term because they're much more likely to buy into what the club are trying to do?
Well, the short term loans are handy when you lose one of your key players and you don't feel that you've got anyone in the club that can take his place or be as effective as him, especially if you've got a small squad. So you've always got those to fall back on later, and then you have to do your due diligence then. But I prefer the long-term ones for the simple reason that they know that they've got to be committed to the players and to the club. So they'll be the ones that initially will come in. When I take loans, it'll be a full term, and that's how we need to do it. It might be 6 months and then 6 months, but the negotiation will be with the other club that they'll be here for 2 times 6 months, so the whole season.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the fans because the season tickets have now gone beyond $8.50, which is really good at this stage in the summer, and they seem pleased with what you're doing. And how important is it you have that closeness not only with yourself but also the players with the fans?
I think it's very important, and I think the clubs are going to organise an open day, and I think that's when people get face to face with the players. They'll know their personal personalities when they meet them there, but the big thing is the pre-season, and so that supporters can see the football personalities of these players. Are they committed? Do they make last-ditch tackles? Are they brave? Are they strong? Are they quick? And it's when you get the pre-season friendlies, and I'm really pleased with those, the way they're going. We'll talk about that in a second. But that's when the supporters will not only get their personal personalities and characters, but their professional ones, and that's what's really important as well. And if you're cheering on somebody that you like, and you support a team that's got players in it that you like and that you've met and that you know are decent fellas and have took a bit of time out, you support with a little bit more enthusiasm and vigour because it's you always shout louder for the ones that you like.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned the friendlies there. So you start off with 3 non-league clubs, then you've got the 3, 2 of which have been announced, one hasn't, but 3 bigger clubs at home, and then you finish with a League 2 trip, which is just what you wanted before the start of the season. Yeah,
it's all very well. It'd be great to get Man United, Tottenham and Arsenal to Wadham Road for games, but they wouldn't necessarily do you any good. So all the games are games where we have to be up for it. I mean, the first 3 games really will be squad games. So all the squad, and there'll probably be, I think the squad will be about 20 by the time we start playing those games. All the squad will be involved, and maybe a couple of other lads, so everybody will probably play 45 minutes in each of those games. Come the first game that hasn't been announced yet, I nearly said that, but hasn't been announced quite yet, because they don't want it announced yet, the other club, but that first professional game will be the first game that I class as a first 11 game, and then that will be the game, then Cardiff, is it?
Yeah.
And then, or is Bristol Rovers, then Cardiff?
It's Bristol Rovers, then Cardiff.
Yeah. So Bristol Rovers, what a game to have, because that, it's a local derby, so it'll mean more than just a pre-season friendly. But they showed us what you have to do to get straight back up, and then we'll be able to judge ourselves by them on that day, and I'm sure it'll be competitive. Just the fact it's local, and then Cardiff is another good game for us. And then for me, Wimbledon, we played them last game of the season. See how far we've come. It's an away trip, so that's good because I need to see how people handle travelling away in an important game, and that's the day you're going to have to be ready. That's when you're going to have to be ready and feel that you're ready going into the campaign the following week.
Yeah, are you quite pleased with the response of the fans to what well, firstly to your appointment, and then also to what you've done so far? And there does seem to be, considering the season the club had last year, quite an excitement around the place.
Yeah, I am, and one of the reasons why I'm here talking to you and manager of Cheltenham Town Football Club at this moment in time is because of the reaction of the fans, and I did feel that the club and the fans were hard done by last year. Maybe that'll upset some, I don't know, but I thought they was hard done by, and I didn't think they got necessarily their value for money, and I just felt that, okay, I'll try and be the one that gives them back something, as I was there the last sort of 7 games, and I'll give them back something, and I'll do all I can to get the club straight away back into the league. I mean, it's obviously an unbelievable task to bestow on somebody, but I'm going to try and do it for everybody, and hopefully we can have a smile on our face while we're doing it.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Gary.
No.
Thanks a lot.